the headline, Rhode Island pot regulators eye dismissal of Florida residents challenge. This is an ongoing theme of the Dormant Commerce Clause. In this case, it's not Mr. Jensen, who's the California attorney who's been making these claims all over the country. The guy named John Kinney out of Florida, and he brought suit against Rhode Island Cannabis Control and their official agency leader. And this case involves the adult use law that was passed in Rhode Island, and they laid out some criteria that included, background checks, criminal background checks, and also that the majority owner or owners of a Rhode Island cannabis business have to be residents. And that's where Mr. Kinney got his panties in a bit of a knot. And so he sued to try and stop this. And what the state of Rhode Island is telling the court is that, let's just back up a little bit. What they passed were enabling statutes. We now have to go through the promulgation of regulations, put out all the forms for applications before anything is ready to go. So it's a bit premature. And so what this motion to dismiss is all about is what we call standing and ripeness, number one, and number two, is that this guy, he said, I intend to file for one of these licenses. I have no intent to move to Rhode Island, and so this is just not fair. And what the state pointed out is like, look, you haven't been injured yet. Your statement that you're going to intend to file for one of these licenses does not bring about an injury to you. You have to wait until you promulgate these regulations, and then we take applications. And if you apply and you're turned down, now you're actually damaged. And the other part of the argument is this is not ripe for adjudication yet. There's nothing that the federal court's going to be able to do here to stop this until they do go the next step and take these enabling statutes and turn them into regulations and then start the application process. At that point, you might be able to say this is ripe for adjudication. But at this point, the courts just, there's not much for them to do yet. And the other part of this that is going to continue to be a theme is the Dormant Commerce Clause. Now, I've brought up multiple of these cases before by this guy named Jensen out of Beverly Hills. I don't know who's bankrolling this guy to go out and make these claims, but there are some states like Illinois where everybody has to be a resident to be an owner. That's a different problem. And in Rhode Island, where the majority owner, so 51% of the ownership has to be in the hands of Rhode Island residents, okay? Now, the other problem that you face the Dormant Commerce Clause is there's been 4 decisions made, right, already, and 3 of the 4 were that this is illegal under federal law. The Congress has acted, and so the Dormant Commerce Clause does not apply because the Congress has taken action here. There was one case, and I want to say it's out of Connecticut, but where there was a different decision at the district court level. That's an outlier right now. Dormant Commerce Clause is supposed to be based upon states doing discriminatory things against out-of-staters when the federal government has not taken Commerce Clause action. And the problem with marijuana is that the Controlled Substances Act is all based upon Commerce Clause power. So they have taken action. It's strictly prohibited. Congress has also acted to stop the government from spending money, or the DOJ, I should say, and all of their agencies associated with them, from spending money if it's a state legal business that you're investigating. Okay, so without this being Mr. Jensen, we've got another theme of I'm an out-of-state guy, you're doing something to stop me from being able to come in and fully participate in your state. And the state's saying, hang on for a minute, buddy. The feds have acted here, and with intrastate, we have a right to bring in carefully crafted laws that are going to look out for important state interests. And in this case, they want to keep this intrastate. They don't want to have out-of-state people coming in, being involved, where we got to go chase you down out of state. We want the majority to be here in the state so we can hold them accountable. Now, that's middle-level scrutiny in a constitutional sense. And I think all of these, in my humble opinion, we're going to have the federal court dismiss this, maybe not with prejudice, but dismiss it and tell them you come back here when you've actually can claim you've been harmed, when this thing is ripe for adjudication. And then we'll see. And I don't think the Dormant Commerce Clause is going to get very far in his argument. That's my story for the day. I'm going to throw it back at you all. What do you think about this?
This is going to be really interesting, Dale, especially when you bring up those Dormant Commerce Clause in parts of this case. That is going to be interesting to see where they're going to fall on. I think ultimately that may be their Achilles heel when they try to argue this.
Well, it's been the first case that I remember coming out of Dormant Commerce Clause, and I think Jensen brought this. The district court found for him. Mm-hmm. It's being appealed. Okay, mm-hmm. But the three other cases that are reported, the federal court said no. The Commerce Clause has been acted here by the Congress, and so Dormant Commerce Clause does not apply. But we'll see. And this is, like I said, not like Illinois where everyone has to be a resident. He can still go there and get a license, but he can only be a 49% owner. So we're going to have to see how that plays out. It's a little twist to this. I don't think the Dormant Commerce Clause is going to be particularly helpful for him.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about this, Jenny?
I don't have a lot of thoughts. I mean, I kind of agree with you guys, so no,
okay.
I'm here right now.
It's just here.
Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Rico, Rachelle, any thoughts on this? You on mute, Rico? I think you're on mute.
Like Dale said at the end, man. Shout out to the Jensens for starting a trend. So even if it's one thing or the other, you knew a lot of this shit. You know a lot of this shit was coming. Mm-hmm. And I just love how the same people that are champions of this so-called states' rights, without going into the beginning of that, they like to sue when a state tells them that they can't do shit in their state.
I mean, all right, I'll bite.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, let's do it. Get the bait.
I was just trying to keep us concise this morning. And
Jason was holding back. Jason was over there like, oh, I'm not gonna say it. Not gonna say anything.
Right.
I was gonna let you do it. I was giving you the alley-oop.
Listen, I'm super sick of this. I'm sick of seeing it. Just stop making this a litigious, self-serving process. Like, let the process work itself out. Like, just please, God bless America. Jensens, crawl back under that rock you came out from under. This is absolutely ridiculous. You're holding up progress, and this is absolutely frivolous litigation. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. I'll let Dale opine on that more than myself because he is the one with the JD and I am not. I'm just the other JD. So, but I'm sick of seeing it. I was just trying to keep us short for time. But God bless. Please stop. Life's not fair.
I find this to be, the Lawyers Full Employment Act, and they're just chasing their tail because the 10th Amendment is not a dead letter, as Clarence Thomas rhetorically said in the Rage case. Mm-hmm. 10th Amendment really gives states rights. And in this case, the federal government has taken some steps to outlaw cannabis, but also to give states the rights and the ability to be able to go forward under their own police powers. And these are traditional state police powers. And I hope that at some point we get a case in front of the Supreme Court where they can squash some of this bullshit and see if we can get onto other things that are more profitable for the industry than fighting about whether somebody has to be a citizen or not, or how much percentage they can own, or that doesn't help anybody in the industry. It just helps the trap.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Any thoughts on this, Rachelle, before I move on?
I'm good.
You're good? Just putting the Legos together. Do you ever lose pieces to your Lego sets, Rachelle?
No, she doesn't.
Don't even will that into the universe, Jason. We don't think like that. We don't manifest that energy.
I wasn't trying to manifest. I was just asking if it ever happened.
Does a Lego have a oops, we left one out policy where you can like reach out to them and they'll send you the piece they forgot to put in?
I don't know. I'm just
saying. They never forget. In fact, they put extra just in case.
You operate by the motto of no Lego left behind, right?
1000%.
Love it.
No Lego body parts, right?
Exactly.
Yep.
No legs, no arms, no heads, nothing. Yes, nothing. That's right.
No virile members or anything like that, right?
Oh, yes. And thank you, Miss Anna Lewis with a super chat. We're getting some Wagyu today, who says, thank you, Elliot Lewis, for the studio space. Yes, thank you, Catalyst. Thank you all so much for providing this space for us. We truly, truly, truly appreciate it without a doubt on this 2-year anniversary episode.